Good morning. I'm Bill Zortman, and welcome to the Report Card Show. It's the first show of 2023, and while everyone wants all the figures, the building permits for the city of Sioux Falls once a year are finalized for the annual numbers generally 15 or so days later. They want to make it official. But, what we heard was $1.9 billion, which is, close enough for government work. The second year in a row that we've hit the billion mark, and we do appreciate Butch Warrington keeping us posted there. And I have a hunch that we will hear something more from him this week. But we do have the leadership of the Home Builders, a real estate association, and others that will help us as we kind of get through quite the snowy session that we've started 2023 with. Let's start with this keynote guy, Tony Bachman. What's the name of your company now? It's different.
Yeah, we were Coldwell Banker Tony Bachman Group, and we've been open for about a year now, and we had decided to change our name to Coldwell Banker Empire Realty to kind of reflect the Sioux Empire here. So I think
Can you get that on a shirt?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll bring one for you next week, or next time I'm here.
All right. We appreciate you, and of course, you're always putting figures together. You had your figures done before I had mine done.
Well, it was last night at about 7 o'clock when I sent them to you. So
mine was about 7:30 this morning.
Well, that's what I said. It's better than getting them to you at 7 o'clock in the morning before the show.
Now, who's this lady that's sitting right beside you?
So we have the president of the Realtors Association of the Sioux Empire, Miss Tara Allen.
Good morning.
Well, we're going to have Doug Topp join us in the second segment where we get down to some numbers that we have. But I'm always curious, Tara, why you wanted to be president and what the heck you're seeing and hearing from people in the marketplace right now.
Well, Bill, when I first started real estate back in 2012, I took the South Dakota Leadership Academy for the Realtor Association. And ever since then, and that consists of 4 trips to Pierre. You get to watch all the legislation, learn how things are done. And I always thought that was really interesting. And I said, one day I'll be back here. Well, then I got busy with life, right?
You
2
think?
kids, building the team, all the things. And then the opportunity came, and I said, I think it's my time to give back to our association and get involved.
2022 was a turbulent year for the U.S. housing market. Inflation, soaring interest rates, elevated sales prices combining to slow down the nationwide side. Affordable challenges. All right, Tony, you put your notes together at what time last night?
Well, I started in the afternoon, and then I kind of finished them up around 7 o'clock. So
all right. So when we start talking about it, what have you got in there? And we're going to let this precious lady jump in, tell us, what they're doing, how they're doing.
Absolutely.
And,
yeah.
And in the next segment, we're going to talk a little bit about why Harrisburg was number one.
Sure.
Harrisburg was the only one that was more than a couple of percent over. There are only 2 communities.
Yep.
Hartford, Harrisburg.
Right. Well, it's I'll be interested. I'll be listening because I have some hypothesis, but I'll wait to hear from the.
That's another H. You notice that alliteration is working this morning.
So we get together on a monthly basis, and we typically do a monthly review. We're going from month to month. Well, the beauty of doing a show, at the 1st of January is now we get to take a look at how 2022, basically looked compared to 2021. And then we get a chance to kind of prognosticate about what 2023 might bring. So we'll just hopscotch through some of these things. And like I say, Tara, jump in whenever, it makes sense. But, new listings, when we were talking about new listings, were down actually just about 2% in 2022 compared to 2021. So, fairly similar. So we're not getting no big things there. Pending sales, they were down 13.8% for the year. Doesn't surprise us, because that's just like with closed sales. They were down 16.5%. Basically, it's the fact that there was inventory issues.
Affordability.
And then affordability. I mean, that was the main factor.
That word affordability, and we'll hear from Dave Kelly on that this morning. Have we got people priced out right now?
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. I mean, with the way home prices, average sales prices went up, and then interest rates going up, I mean, their payment is, 40% higher right now compared to back in the 3%?
Average sales price is up just about 15%.
Yeah.
That was from 2021 to 2022. Now, if you were to take a look at like historical and you get into, something that's 3 or 4 years back, fairly significant, change on that.
However, historically, it's still a great rate, right?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, we're still, and the other thing that I know that Dave Kelly, who's coming into the equation here later, he's going to talk about, and I've chatted with him, they're looking at rates getting closer to the low fives, later this year, whether it's the second quarter or
Isn't that
something
strange?
like that.
We go from 2 to 3 to 5, and we'd been at 19 at one time. I mean, it's all over the place. It's what the market will bear.
And the great thing is you see banks getting really creative on how they can help home buyers still make it affordable, offering things like no lender cost refinances, some of the banks, rate buy downs, those types of things. So there's creative options out there.
The figure that I always watch is that Housing Affordability Index, and it shows it down 38.8%. It's been a while since we've done that, but what goes up must come down, and it comes down a little quicker if you've had big numbers and big attention.
Yeah. The interest rates certainly had a huge effect on that. But I did pull an interesting stat when it comes to housing affordability. So in 2022, housing affordability was at 101. Basically what that's saying is that whatever the person's income is, their available income to be able to purchase a home or spend money on a mortgage, they're using just about 100% of that money. Well, let's go back 10 years just to kind of give some perspective. In 2012, the affordability index was at 213.
Wow.
But then again, your average sales price back then was 171,000. Mm-hmm. So compared to, where we're at is 335 right now.
Yep.
So we were at half. So those kind of correlate, in reference to, where we're at. So, I mean, I think the big thing here is if you go too far back, you get discouraged. But I think if we look at it from a perspective of what's happening in the marketplace, and Tara and I were just talking as we walked in, still after the first of the year, I've all of a sudden my phone's ringing. I got people that want to list their homes. I got people who want to go out and buy homes. So it's not like our market has completely stymied. It did slow down significantly, October, November. And that's why we're seeing, when we talk about closed sales in December were down 46.7%. And it was because, a typical transaction takes anywhere from 30 to 60 days. But when we saw those interest rates take a big hike in October, it pretty well shut everybody down.
Yeah. And, and so now we're seeing people that are tired of waiting. And they're hopefully over the whiplash of the interest rate change and that types of things. Bill, we had 8 different open houses this weekend. There's only one that didn't have anyone through. They were busy open houses. So everyone was kind of out showing, doing opens, talking to people. People are ready.
Negotiating. We haven't used that N word in a while. What's going on with that?
Well, Bill, I actually just told Tony on the way in. I looked at all of our pending sales for buyers right now, and every single one of them got a percentage off the home. Before we were seeing, the home list at $300, we're paying $320. Now we're getting to negotiate. So it's a good time for buyers to get out there.
All right. So, Tony, where are we going in the first quarter of the year?
Well, if this weekend is any indication, I mean, I think we're going back to a fairly busy market again. I don't think we're going back to the crazy Wild West market that we had, but do not be surprised. I was in an open house. I had a client that we went and looked at an open house together. I want to say they had like 15 sets of people that were there in that house. And I wouldn't be surprised if there was multiple offers on that house, today. So I think we're going to be going back into a market that's still fairly healthy and vibrant. We still need more inventory. But the nice thing is we're starting to see more of that come up. Now it's just a matter of making sense of the interest rates. And like Tara just mentioned, lenders, builders, they're all trying to get very creative with giving allowances, trying to help people with, closing costs, those sorts of things, or even giving people upgrades. Like when it comes to new construction, where they'll say, hey, we'll throw in an upgrade of, whatever that might be. And, selling it at that time. So it is a benefit for buyers right now. There are some good things that are going on out there. And people get a chance to do their inspections like we talked about. And inspections do have negotiables, which sellers are more than willing to negotiate.
All right. From the real estate side, what kind of turnout do we think that the home show, the housing show that we're going to see very soon, what kind of attention will there be? What kind of questions do you think, Tara, that people are going to ask?
Well, I sure hope it's busy because we're going to have a booth there, so we'll see everyone there.
That makes sense. Teddy's happy with that.
I think it's going to be busy. People are curious what's going on in the housing market too, so they're going to come and see what's out there and what people are saying, and as always, come to see all the amazing things people are doing with homes and what lots are out there and all the good things. So,
yeah, I just think a lot of people are still looking at the remodeling and that sort of thing. So, home show's a great opportunity to come out there and see what's out there for new products. And I always kind of say the same analogy as a lot of times when people say, I don't really want to move, or I'm not sure if I want to remodel or sell my house. Well, it's like going to Humane Society. You go look at the puppies, and all of a sudden you're like, hey, you're coming home with a puppy. Now, whether that means you're doing a big remodeling project or you decide to put your house for sale and move, that's what having the home show does. Is it stimulates people's ideas to be able to get more information so they can make educated decisions.
And if you're like me, you can't do remodeling and you need some help. Their time's a little precious right now. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah. Hey, Bill, I want to just mention one thing Tony did have on his stats we didn't talk about is a lot of people are saying, oh, I want to wait to see what the market's going to do and so on. Well, here's the deal is that right now the homes for sale is up 15% to 2.3 months from 2 months last year, right? In 2008, when all the big changes happened, we had 7.6 months supply of inventory. We have 2.3 months supply. So, don't wait for the market to crash. It's not the inventory is too low.
October of 2009, it was 9.2 months.
Yeah.
So, just for perspective wise, it's.
Yeah, I thought that was a great stats to share.
Well, one of the things that we do is that we talk frankly to you, the audience, because you want to know. This is kind of the marketplace where you get a chance to listen to what we're doing, and we know people are listening all over the country because they come to South Dakota. Wouldn't you agree?
Oh, yeah. Yep. Everybody wants to move to the Midwest, nice South Dakota.
Yep. And I think the big message I would give out to anybody who's a buyer or seller is it doesn't hurt to at least have the conversation because you're just not sure. You may find out something that makes sense to you. And so I would highly encourage somebody who's thinking about in 2023, maybe we do want to buy, maybe we want to relocate, have a conversation. It isn't going to cost anything to have the conversation.
All right, Tony, appreciate the keynoting this morning.
Thank you, Bill.
Tara, you want to stick around, talk with Doug Topp?
I'll be here, Bill.